What is going on, Patriot Gardeners? It's your buddy Murdock, and I'm back tonight here in Arizona with another gardening adventure for you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about high intensity gardening. That's right. As you can see here, I've got these little Durafoam shipping containers. Um, they're about 12 inches by about 10 inches by about 8 to 10 inches deep. And we're going to be planting some stuff in this tonight. And as you can see here, I already have one experiment going, seeing if I can get some beautiful beefsteak tomatoes to finish out in this small of a container. Now, everybody knows in your garden, what's the biggest thing? Space, right? There's never enough of it. You can never plant as much stuff as you want because, well, it's always going to spread out. Well, what if you could put it in something small like this, keep it contained? Yeah, the plant might not get as big, but in that small of a space, you can still harvest almost as much as you would if you put it into the ground. And that's what we're going to be going over tonight. If you take a look in here, there's actually, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually, I think there's one more over here. Nope, there's 5 in there. But as you can tell, these guys with the proper nutrition, the proper fertilizer, and the proper light are doing just fine. Tonight, we're going to take this little bin right here that I've gone ahead and filled up with some of the mad scientists' magic mater mud, as we've nicknamed it, and we're going to be doing green onions. I'm going to be showing you how in this little tiny thing you can harvest about a pound, maybe half a pound during the winter, of fresh green onions right out of your window ledge, your windowsill, or right from a sunny window inside your house. That's right, folks. You can do this inside. And if you've got one of these wonderful little lights right here, these little curly Q lights, or an LED grow light, you can set this anywhere in your house. And I know some of our gardeners who are up north are going to have some colder weather coming in and some snow on the ground, so they won't be having too much of a gardenscape going. This is a good way for them to have a little thing indoors and keep their chins up. So, without further ado, what we've got here are some onions that we've got from our local produce store. And they've already rooted out pretty good. I put them in water about 2 days ago to really get them going and get those roots going well. So what we're going to do is take a pair of scissors, and we're going to come through here and we're going to try to bunch them all up. And these things are actually pretty resilient. It's one of the easiest things to grow. You really can't mess this up. And they will grow with minimal light. So if you only get, 3-4 hours of light in a window, this is perfect. You can put them indoors and just let them go to town. And every 2 weeks, you can come back through and cut them. So now that I've got them all piled up to where they're relatively about the same length, maybe a couple little stragglers here, I'm going to come through and I'm just going to go ahead and take all these greens off the top. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, like I said, in about 2 weeks, they're going to produce all new greens anyways. And this is going to make my planting experience much more pleasant. So, we were mainly successful in that. Well, we get an E for effort. How about that? We'll set those off to the side. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy expensive planting tool. Look at this. This is one of the most indispensable gardening tools there is, the popsicle stick. You can write measurements on it, you can write plant names on it, you can stake out little garden areas with it, you can do arts and crafts with it. These are great. I highly recommend these, and it's a good way to get kids in the garden too, especially if you hand them a box of these. Just be prepared for the outcome. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just start poking some holes. We're going to go ahead and go about maybe 2 inches deep, just like that. And we want to make it big enough that we can shove them down there. And like I said, these are pretty resilient little plants, so they're going to do really well. And I think we'll be able to go in this container. We'll be able to go 3 wide, no problem. 4 long, for a total of 12, which is pretty good. And like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to want to be coming through here about every 2 weeks, like I said, and chop these things off. So now the really hard part. You're going to take this, look at those beautiful roots on there. You're going to pop them right in this hole and try to get all of his roots down there. And then you're going to grab one of his friends and you're going to put it in there and give it a little twist and pop them down in there. And you're going to keep going right down the row and popping these guys in here. Oh, this guy's got some real roots on him. We'll twist him down in there. And the neat thing about this is as these grow and you keep cutting them, you're going to be able to harvest green onions, I mean, for a year and a half, 2 years out of this box until these things decide they want to go to seed. And then you can just collect the seed and start all over. Just sprinkle them in a new box and voila. Then the other nice feature about this is that when you do this, it's such a small area that you don't actually have to contaminate the rest of the garden. You can just put onions in one little tiny box. You know, you can move them around. Sometimes you get areas where there's not as much sun as others and you need to, you know, rotate some plants. I've got about, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, about 6 or 7. You know what? No plant left behind. Let's go ahead and make a couple extra holes here. These guys will take off and do have long roots, but in a contained area like this, they're going to do just fine. Especially if you're growing them indoors, you know, for your cooking needs. And there's nothing better than reaching up on your window ledge, just clip, take a couple of these guys and throw them in some stir fry, you know, chop them up for some baked potatoes. Everybody knows there's 1,000,001 uses for green onion. And let's see, where can we put a couple more? Maybe one right here. Now, I'm sure that somebody can comment down below about the nutritional value or the medicinal values of green onions. I'm sure that they do have some kind of good medicinal value to them as well. So this is a good little plant to have, easy to grow, goes well with a lot of dishes, and can complement a lot of wild game. And that might be important here in the near future, as we all know. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm just basically going to take my fingers and push this dirt down just a little bit. Not too much, as I'm going to actually water it down into place here. And there we go. And what's the last thing we're going to do, folks? That's right. In memory of old Alabama gardener, we're going to water it well, and we're going to watch it grow. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all that needs to be done to get a little high-intensity area. This is, actually, if you were to do the math, this is less than 1 square foot of growing medium. And we're going to actually have plants that come up 2-3 feet tall out of this and completely fill this area with more than you could ever want to use just out of this. So I'm going to be posting some other videos as we go along. About once a week I'm going to try to show the progress of the tomatoes. I have several other little experiments in the works right now, and I'll be posting up those videos as well. I hope this helps. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope that this is something you try at home. Like I said, if you live in an area where you're going to be getting lots of snow, give this a shot. Seeing some green inside the house when it's all white outside like that and cold and chilly can really keep your spirits lifted up. And right now, that's really important for everybody. What's even better is while it's snowing outside and nobody else has got fresh green onions, you can clip some of these off, take them over to your neighbor, and get a big wow and a hug. And then you can show them how to do this, which is the ultimate goal. I love you all very much. God bless. Murdock out.